What's the latest, Greg?
I was involved in a couple of interesting scenarios this week, and both homes sold basically $200,000 over list price, and they were, to be fair, they were listed $100,000 less than what they would have been a couple of months ago. So it's just really interesting to see. And I mean, one had 14 offers on it. Crazy. And because you think, like, as things are changing, I told you my experiences where I've won multiple offers with conditions, one under list last week, and then here on the other hand, this is a nice little split level in Constance Bay. Pretty wild. So
Constance Bay has been crazy though.
It has
values,
and
they've been crazy jumping.
And to be fair, that's the reason why more people are looking for that lifestyle. There was another one I won't get into too much, but it sold for 180 over. I thought that was a bit high. And anyways, there's still things happening, but then there's stuff that's sitting on the market. I think we're at an average of 30 days now.
Yeah.
I've been telling buyers lately that, oh my gosh.
I think there's still we can hear you. There's still a lot of properties that show well in certain areas that get a lot of traction and a lot of showings and interest, but there's others where they, like you said, they are going under ask with conditions and case in point, I got 2 purchase agreements this morning from a great referral source of mine, and one was under list, unconditional, but under list price. The other was under list price with conditions. Both townhomes, condo townhomes. Not high price points, like under, I think, around 350. And it was kind of, it's interesting. Then there's others where, I know of places that, like you said, going 100, 200,000 over asking, 50 plus showings, things like that. It just really depends on where they are and how they show as well, I think.
Greg, do you think that's directly related to, and I feel like I may know the answer to this, but I know there's been a lot of supply coming back on the market, but are you finding that in these locations where homes are going for, say, 180,000 over asking, that those areas are very limited in the supply, and that's why maybe people, that's a very desirable neighborhood they want to be in. They're willing to pay that, obviously, as opposed to
you're 100%. I mean, I should have mentioned that just off the jump. I mean, the one in Constance Bay is clearly based on that, and the other one was based on, it was like a full renovation. Like it was spectacular. I felt it was overpriced because there were still some things to do in the lower level. But anyways, that's why it was kind of like, wow. And that's what everybody went in. But I mean, right now I think it's a really good time for buyers to be looking. Anyone who's looking like 550 or less, there's opportunities. So if you were a first timer that just got totally pushed away, a few months ago, I'd take the time to look back at things now. Because some of those properties are still there. And especially I've seen like properties under 450, I've seen dropping 20, 30, 40,000. So there's, there's like, that's opportunities for investors too. Just came back like that. That's what I'm seeing.
So here's what I see happening in the fall, in the coming months. This is my prediction for the next 60 days. We're going to see all this information rolling out as we're talking about today. In a month and a half time, all the buyers are going to flood to the market because of all the new supply that they're hearing about 6 weeks too late. And then there's going to be a lack of supply again, and prices are going to start peaking up again come September, October.
We're mid cottage and camping time though. This like July into August is like your prime. We have such a short window of summer months, and this is like prime camping and cottage time that I always find there's a little bit of lull and kind of the July, early August, and then people kind of ramp back up for school. So
producer Steve throwing in some new graphics at the bottom there, eh? Is Torrep predicting the future? The yes or no questions. I love it.
Dave, you're absolutely right. I think that's what's happening. That's part of it for sure. I think by mid-August, it's going to start ramping up a bit.
And hopefully, to your point, like those buyers that were scared away earlier in the year or last year, that they aren't hopefully they have a little bit of a finger on the pulse or have been notified by who they're working with that there are opportunities and to come back to the market. Because I know, like you were mentioned last week, you were talking to somebody and they had no idea what the market was, that it had kind of leveled out a little bit more. And I think that's just, to Paul's point, news cycle is like 6 weeks too late, 6 weeks behind Torup, that that people aren't aware that they can find these good deals or properties that are, easier to get.
But Greg, even talking specifically to our, joint clients, we've had a few clients that had been shopping for some time that recently over the last couple of weeks have been able to find their home. So it's good. It's great for buyers. And I think just the market in general, it's good to just kind of balance out a bit, just give people a bit of a breather. And also for some sellers, just to kind of, I think we've talked about it a few times, but they had almost unrealistic expectations of what their place would sell for. And now it's kind of, with the balancing out, and now they're looking at comparables in their area and realizing that, we're kind of bounced, we're getting back to reality, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I got one great example on that. There was this house that was listed at 600,000, $590. And they had 3 offers. We were in on it. And our offer was, I think our top offer was 6. I think it was 600. Maybe it was 605. There was 2 other offers. And, I got a call from the agent asking if we'd come up to 625, meaning like they had 3 offers that the seller didn't like. And we said no, that was our top for this house. And the other 2 offers also said no. And it's been on at 635 now for 2 weeks. So even though it's been sitting, and I talked to my guys, are like, nah, we've decided we don't want to go for that one anymore either. And I was like, wow. I'm like, so these people, they missed, and maybe if it's still sitting, maybe come September, that'll change. But I was just like, that's an opportunity. Someone can go in right now, it's almost like that juju though, you get that kind of bad vibe from maybe the seller or something. And you just don't want anything to do with that property anymore. It's just got the bad juju,